Hi, this is Alan Moon with Front End Audio, and we're here with Speck Electronics pieces of gear. Speck Electronics is a company that's been around for over 35 years, located in California, and is the work of Vince Poulos, who's a fantastic designer. What we're going to focus on here today are the EQs, the ASC. And basically you have a couple of different options here. Basically, the standard ASC is a half rack space piece of gear. It's designed to work in conjunction with the Mic Pre 5.0 here. And the Mic Pre 5.0 has insert, send, and return on the back and has mixer capability, which allows you basically in a single rack space to have a channel of a mixer, and you can expand it to 4 channels. You also have a 500 series that also can work either as a single unit on a vertical external stand. You don't need to have a 500 series supply for this, or you can mount 2 of them. You can just basically screw this in over and put 2 of them together. We'll cover how all that works and so forth in a few minutes. On the front panel, moving from left to right, you have an input gain trim or boost. So one of the things you might want to do if you plan on doing any boosting is maybe knock down the level a little bit on the way in. So that's something that where you basically can account for any level increase as a result of boosting. You have the ability to have a full bypass of the EQ, and to engage it, press it in, it'll turn green. Green means go. So the low frequency section here is sweepable from 20 to 150 hertz, and you have the ability to switch between either a shelving EQ style or a bell curve. And you have plus and minus 15 dB of gain on these 4 bands that you have. Now the mid-frequency band is really cool in the fact that you have, it gives you a lot more flexibility. You basically can operate from 40 hertz up to 800 hertz. Or you can operate with the plus 10 here. You have the ability to go from 400 hertz up to 8 kilohertz. So this gives you a lot more flexibility than what you'd normally have in your typical 4-band EQ. And then finally over in the upper frequencies here, you're going to have basically the 400 hertz up to 10K on the high mid band. And of course the plus and minus 15 dB of gain as well, like I said, on all of these. The one thing about the Q settings here is that you have the ability to go from a quarter of an octave up to a 2-octave range whenever you expand it out. And finally you have a shelving EQ in the upper register, which is going to basically go from 4K up to 25K. Now some folks might go, why in the world would you want to go all the way beyond the scope of human hearing? A lot of us can't even hear past 17 kilohertz, for instance, as adults who've been to rock concerts and such. The thing with that, though, is that with shelving EQs and so forth, even lots of gain on a bell curve EQ up beyond the range of human hearing, the slope of that dips back into the audible range. So really what you're doing is gently lifting the air range of the EQ. So it's something that really kind of opens up the sound without really generating a lot of boost in some of the more ice pick in the eardrum kind of frequencies, down like 10K, 11K, 12K, somewhere in there. So it's one of the little tricks I like to do to just kind of open up the sound is to use that. So you do have the ability to go all the way up there, 25K, and just have that nice gentle slope back down. So it's something you might want to try out. Rear of the unit, pretty simple. You basically have XLR capability for in and output. One of the things to keep in mind, though, whenever you have the transformer option, is that the transformer is not on the TRS output. In fact, the transformer is disengaged the moment that you plug in the tip ring sleeve output, so as not to interfere with anything else in the unit. So that's taken out of the signal path. You do have a ground lift as well, and then basically you have the 2 different power supply options for the rack mount unit. And in the video for the Mic Pre 5.0, discuss how you can power up the EQ from the Mic Pre 5.0 whenever you use them together, so that you only have one power cable in the rack and for powering 2 pieces of gear. So it really does turn this into a very functional, channel strip. This is the 500 series EQ version of the normal ASC. So everything's been kind of tightly packed into this small 500 series frame here. So if you have a 500 series supply, this is easily powered by it and works with all the normal input and output functions you would expect. However, Speck Electronics, having a lot of foresight, a lot of functionality, and liking to not make you reliant on somebody else's design and so forth, basically gives you the ability to rack mount 2 of these together on this vertical mounting kit. So and really all this is a hefty piece of metal with some feet and pre-drilled holes here for this. But you also get the power supply and the connecting cable. Let's cover what this does. So on the back of the unit, you'll see that there's the normal multi-pin strip here for powering and the input and output connections on the 500 series rack. Okay, we're not using this, and so what they recommend, if you're going to be powering this unit or a couple of these together, you really do want to cover this. So you can use some like electrical tape. You might want to find some other type of cover for this, like a plastic cover that's non-conductive. So just very simple, very clean type of operation, and it's something where if you do have limited 500 series rack space, but plan on getting another one, but want to take advantage of these, or just like having a couple of EQs right in front of you, this is definitely a good option to have. So basically, all your I/O is done here. You have the input on the bottom and the output on the top. Speck also provides on the side here basically some visual guides and silk screen that show you basically what connector basically is. So you have your power input, your connectivity from one unit to the next, and so forth. That also gives you a guide to the jumper connections for the transformer option and without. So where this will be set depending upon what is connected. So whether the flavor you choose is the 500 series or a rack mount, there's a Speck EQ for you. So for more information on any of the Speck pieces or for all your pro audio needs, check us out online at frontendaudio.com. Thanks.